Hello, and welcome to the Sovereign Collective podcast, where we bring you real, raw truth for your self-empowerment. I'm your host, Sasha Calavoda, and I believe that you can stand on your own 2 feet, but that you don't have to do it alone. I love learning from people who continually strive to raise the bar, to go against mainstream thinking, and who dare to question the general consensus. People who risk being ridiculed or even risk the loss of their professional status as they bravely question the common narratives and challenge the rest of us to expand our minds and to reconsider what we think we already know. Join me in learning how to take control of your health and your mind so that you can have the energy to think more clearly and the confidence to step up and take responsibility for all aspects of your life. We promise to never censor here because I believe you are strong enough to hear the real, raw truth to make up your own mind. If you like what you find here at the Sovereign Collective podcast, then please share with your friends and family. And please also consider making a small donation on my Patreon page so that I can continue to bring you amazing content so that we can all create a better future. I so appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. And now, on to the show. Hello, everyone. This is Sasha Calavoda, your host of the Sovereign Collective podcast, and welcome to episode 0, where I tell you a little bit about myself and what you can expect from this show. So I have been fascinated with all associated with health and wellness for the last, I would say, the better part of 30 years. I became a holistic nutrition practitioner about 20 years ago. And before that, I had my chemistry degree and worked for about 10 years in the petrochemical industry, working totally against what I lived outside of work. And once I finished my schooling for holistic nutrition, what I realized is you never stop learning, you never stop evolving, growing, changing. And one of the biggest things that I really became aware of as in the most recent years is that nutrition and wellness, there's a lot of dogma associated with that. So I've really tried to detach myself from my dogma and general dogma, and really work at learning and embracing a more connected approach to health and wellness, a more approach that connects with the season, with my surroundings, with my local farmers, with cycles in the day, cycles in my life, cycles of the year, kind of thing. So that's the approach that I take in my own work. But over the years, I have listened to thousands and thousands of hours of people interviewing or just talking presentations and read tons and tons of books. And what I discovered when I created a program called Your Conscious Pregnancy and Parenting Guide about 10 years ago, which I created because when I had my son, I realized, holy crap, it's a freaking massive deal to bring forth life and to support the growth and development of healthy, well-adjusted, robust life. And it's very clear to me right now that we're not very robust, right? We're not resilient, we're not robust. And when I had my son over 11 years ago now, I really noticed that there wasn't a lot of information around that. And people didn't seem to think of it as such a big deal as I did. It's like, wow, this is major. Like I feel like an alien while this baby is inside of me. And now I've got this baby. And it's up to us to not screw them up with our own limitations and our own ideas. And nobody's going to be perfect, right? We all do the best that we can do. But there's a lot of factors that go in to creating healthy, well-adjusted, robust life. So I created a program and I interviewed people from all sorts of areas, from nutrition and parenting and psychology and all sorts of areas. And through that process, I discovered that I really love interviewing people. And now fast forward to 2020, the craziest years of our lives for most of us, I would say. It is now October when this podcast is being launched. And life has changed dramatically. And it seems that a lot of people forget how we lived life at the beginning of this year without masks, without sanitizer, without tuning into the news to find the latest on the stats of what's going on. And it really became apparent to me in the beginning of all this that people do not know how to take care of themselves. And I think this was well timed, in my opinion, that this has been coming down the pike for a long time, and the timing was very intentional. So with what's going on, we're now living in this world of censorship and misinformation and just fear, 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 fear. My mama bear got activated. My mama bear got pissed off because I am super concerned for what we're passing on, the world we're going to leave to future generations. I don't see this going well unless enough of us rise up and say, hey, wait a minute. We have a lot of knowledge that we're throwing out here around microbiome, around what makes us actually healthy in terms of, spending time with people and community and food and nutrition and movement and sunshine and working with our own shit inside and releasing all that stuff and overcoming childhood traumas and all this stuff. And all we're listening to is what being told to us on the news, and none of that is going to help keep us healthy or make us healthy. So, anyways, I decided I want to be on Team Truth, and I want to really help support and bring the message through for people that I learn from. And I also want to ask my burning questions that I'm not getting always answered from some of these people that I like to listen to. And I want to help share their message. I want to maybe help you question what you think you already know and maybe look at your world from a different perspective. Because what I feel is that the better information we have and the more information we have, the better choices we can make. And so I'm not going to censor here. I'm not going to be worried about offending you because I am not concerned about the offense. I don't intend to offend you. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to offend you. But if any of the information that comes out of this has offended you, I'm sorry, but that wasn't my intention. It's just because we cannot risk not telling the truth because we're afraid of offending people. And we're living in a culture where we blame people for our own offense. We blame people for making us sick, or it's up to them to protect us. And I'm sorry, that's just not, I don't buy that. I don't buy that. I will protect myself. I will take responsibility for my offense, and I will seek the truth, and I will try to remain humble in that search. So I hope you enjoy what you see here. You can expect to get information on people's stories in terms of what's happened in their life and their own self transformations. We are going to be looking into matters of the mind, matters of the heart, parenting, health, wellness, nutrition, microbiome, medicinal mushrooms, tonic herbs, germ theory. We're going to be looking into all different things in that regard because there's so many aspects to being a healthy, well-adjusted person. And it doesn't mean we have to get them all right. And we never have to be perfect in any way. But the more information that we have and the more that we can return to nature, the more we'll return to ourselves and the more we will return to health. Because we are seeing now the more that is spent on the medical system does not make us healthier. In fact, is made us sicker than ever. It has its place, but there are some really basic things that we can do, each and every one of us, for ourselves to keep us healthy and to get us on the path to healing in body, mind, and spirit. So that's about all I want to say. I hope you enjoy the show. You're going to find me on different platforms: Spotify, iTunes, Red Circle, BitChute, YouTube. Those are the ones to date in video form or audio format. You can find me at Sasha Calavoda on my personal Facebook page. And over time, maybe this will grow and you'll find me in other places. Sovereign Collective is the podcast. And if you enjoy what you see here, please share with your friends, with your family, with people that you think could benefit from this information. And if you really like what you see, I'd really appreciate you making a small monthly donation on my Patreon page. Not very much, but the cost of some specialty coffee that you chose to forego one day a month or something like that. Just to support what I'm doing here, because I feel that we need to be our own investigative journalists these days, and we need the individual to ask the tough questions that we're not seeing asked on the mainstream news. So that's all I have to say. Thanks again. My name is Sasha Calavoda, and this is the Sovereign Collective Podcast.